I do know.
Joseph Quinn, you sly dog.
You sly dog! You got me monologuing!
What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. Today I got a minor Stranger Things update, specifically talking about Joseph Quinn and a potential return of Eddie Munson. Now, before I dive into this, be sure to hit that like button. It helps out more than you guys know. Subscribe and hit that notification bell to help reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers here on the channel. It means a lot. And if you guys want to watch Stranger Things, as well as other movies and TV shows with me, you can do so on my Patreon, which is linked down below. My commentary tracks for all of Stranger Things seasons 1 through 3 are out right now, and I'm currently working my way through season 4. My commentary track for the first episode of every season is free to give you guys a glimpse of what these are like before fully committing, and I'm currently doing a giveaway over on Patreon right now. For more information on that, you can watch my giveaway announcement video on Patreon, which is linked down below. That video is available to everyone, and once I reach my goal of 100 patrons, I will announce the winner of the giveaway. But your support over on Patreon means the world. It's one of the best ways to directly support me in my content creation journey, so consider becoming a film stocked patron today. Now let's get into this Stranger Things update. So as we all know, filming for Stranger Things Season 5 has been underway since January of this year. The official announcement was made by Stranger Things when they dropped this photo of all the cast sitting around a circle with their Stranger Things script in hand next to a Stranger Things 5 logo, letting us know that production for the final season had begun. There was one notable absence from this cast photo, that being Joseph Quinn, who plays Eddie Munson in Stranger Things, and it makes sense that he's not in this photo considering the fact that his character died at the end of season 4, very tragically. But ever since season 4 volume 2 dropped and we witnessed the death of Eddie Munson, there has been endless speculation online from fans around the world, myself included, where we've theorized and speculated how on earth could Eddie Munson return? Could he come back as Kaz the Bloody-Handed? Will they resurrect him as Eddie? Did he ever even die? Will we see him as a Force ghost? Tons of questions have arose ever since his death, and rightfully so. He was a fan favorite character and stole all of our hearts in a very short amount of time. Only about an hour of total screen time, maybe even less, in season 4. We even got a prequel book called Flight of Icarus, written by Caitlin Schneiderman, who's actually from the Stranger Things writer's room. This was a prequel book detailing Eddie's life in Hawkins prior to season 4. So it's very obvious that the demand for more Eddie Munson is alive and well. But will he actually make a return in season 5? While I myself have gone back and forth on this for quite some time, ever since the summer of 2022, literally one day I'll wake up and be like, oh, Eddie's dead, it's time to move on. The next day I'll wake up and be like, but there's a chance! You're telling me there's a chance? So depending on the day, I'm like, yeah, Eddie's coming back. But the next week I'll be like, no shot. Just depends on how I'm feeling. However, a recent clip of Joseph Quinn himself at FaxCon in Belgium has arose online. It's been making the rounds on social media, and it's safe to say I'm curious, and I might just be on the we're so back train. Now, before I show you the clip that's been making the rounds from FaxCon, it's important that I show you guys some other clips from both interviews and conventions from months past, specifically dealing with when Joseph Quinn was asked about his return as Eddie in Stranger Things. This first clip is from a Fan Expo convention in January of this year, right before, or like right when Stranger Things 5 started filming. Here it is.
There was this theory floating around that he would come back as like the Upside Down's version of a vampire, and I was just wondering what your thoughts were on that.
I think cool. They haven't called me. Yeah.
In that clip, as you guys saw, Joseph Quinn is pretty honest there. He's like, I didn't get the call, I don't know. Of course, he as an actor would likely be open to returning because it's work, and at the end of the day, actors love to get paid for their work, but he genuinely seemed like he had no clue if he was coming back or not. And then there's this other clip from Access, which dropped not long after Volume 2 of Season 4 came out. So here's that clip.
I don't know, he feels kind of gone. I'd say it's pretty hard for them to bring him back, I'd say, but I don't know. I don't know, don't know.
They haven't said anything to you?
I don't know. I don't know.
And as you guys can see, Joseph Quinn is like, I genuinely don't know if I'm coming back as Eddie. So now that I've played those, it's time to take a look at the most recent clip from FaxCon in Belgium. And it's important to watch this clip with the understanding that season 5 has been filming for months now. In fact, we're on the 4th month of shooting. So the majority of the scripts have been read by the actors and sent out to the actors who are going to appear in the episodes. So just keep that in mind as you watch this clip.
Are you coming back next season?
$1 million question.
I do know. But I'm not telling you. It's a good question.
I mean, come on. He's a bit cheeky there, isn't he? He's genuinely smiling. He knows something we don't. I don't think he would be acting like this if he didn't know something. In fact, he says, I know if I'm coming back or not, but I'm not gonna tell you. Obviously, he wouldn't spoil if he was returning or not. But the fact that he just knows whether or not he returns is huge. This clip gave off Andrew Garfield vibes, specifically when he was on Jimmy Fallon via Zoom call, and Jimmy Fallon literally flashed the photo of the 3 Spider-Men together, and he was like, it's a Photoshop, I know nothing. And then he starts like laughing. That's the same energy I got from this clip of Joseph Quinn at FactsCon. Now, just because Joseph Quinn says he knows whether he returns or not, does not mean that Eddie Munson is alive. But this could definitely mean he knows that Eddie is coming back for a flashback, vision, or dream sequence, which is something I myself have been a proponent of all along. Regarding Stranger Things Season 5, we've already gotten some paparazzi photos of Dustin Henderson at Eddie Munson's grave, likely still mourning his death, visiting Eddie's grave to pay homage to his friend. Maybe Dustin arrives at his grave to clean it up and keep it kempt because people are evil in this world and they do think Eddie is this cultist, satanic person. So a lot of society has a real misconception of Eddie and they were rooting for the man's downfall. So Dustin's likely, you know, keeping up his grave and making sure that his legacy lives on in a positive light, at least for him. But we're also probably going to see the gang as a whole dealing with Eddie's death, still mourning Eddie's death, because we never really got to see that in Season 4. We saw how it hit Dustin like a train, but we never really saw the implication of Eddie's death on the rest of our main gang. So while it might seem far-fetched for Eddie Munson to be alive, what's stopping the Duffer Brothers from having Joseph Quinn come on set for a day or two to film a flashback or vision scene where he's talking to Dustin or giving him some advice? Or maybe we see a scene from the Season 4 timeline that happened off-screen and the knowledge that Eddie gives Dustin applies to the current present-day situation with their fight against Vecna. Think like a positive version of the scene from Dear Billy where we see Billy and Max come face to face. Obviously, that's a really dark, heavy scene as Vecna is speaking through Billy, and it's almost twisted in a way. Think a positive version of that scene where Joseph Quinn's Eddie Munson comes face to face with Dustin but gives him some sort of piece of advice. I think that would play out really well, and it's a way to get Eddie back without tarnishing his legacy, because if they do go the Kaz the Bloody-Handed route, you run the risk of tainting his character arc and development, which was beautifully done over the course of Season 4, and I don't want there to be a sour taste in my mouth as Eddie comes back, but he's not the same Eddie. Like, viewing Eddie Munson as a villain remotely would sort of tarnish him in my mind, so I think they need to let him rest, but definitely have him come back and pass on some wisdom from beyond to Dustin. Don't go full Force Ghost like it's the end of Return of the Jedi. More so have him appear in the void or some sort of vision with Dustin. Hell, it could be as simple as a dream. All that's to say, the door is still open for Eddie Munson to appear in this final season. Just because the character is dead does not mean he himself cannot make an appearance. Now, whether that means he's resurrected, returns as a vampire, or if he just appears in some flashback scene or vision, who's really to say? But the door is open for Eddie's return, even if it's just 3 inches. And for the real delusional fans out there, my girlfriend included,
And even murder.
Stranger Things has brought characters back from the dead with no real explanation. Notably Hopper. If you really go back and rewatch the beginning of Season 4 and the end of Season 3, there's no way that he would have survived, but he came back and it made for some epic moments, and I was willing to look past it. They presumably killed Eleven at the end of Season 1, she returned, so this show is no stranger to killing off characters and then bringing them back later on, so I really wouldn't be that surprised if Eddie does live. And on top of all that, we have to think about the draw that Eddie Munson is. His fandom is huge. It's like its own sub-fandom of Stranger Things, and rightfully so, the character rules. But at the end of the day, Joseph Quinn knows something we don't, and I won't be surprised if we see his face in Stranger Things Season 5. But what do you guys think? Will Joseph Quinn appear as Eddie Munson in Stranger Things Season 5? Let me know in the comments down below whether you think he'll be resurrected, whether you think he'll be in a dream sequence, or whether you think he won't appear at all. Of course, hit that like button, helps out more than you guys know. And if you want to watch Stranger Things as well as other movies and TV shows with me, you can do so on my Patreon, link down below. My commentary tracks for all of Stranger Things Seasons 1 through 3 are out now, and I'm currently working my way through Season 4. The first episode of every season is free, and for $5 a month, you guys can make a difference in my life and my content creation journey by joining the Filmstock Patreon community, so consider becoming a part of that today. But that'll do it. Thank you guys, as always, for watching, and until next time, I'll see you on the other side of the Upside Down.